Hello and welcome back to the Tim Foster YouTube channel. And you find me very early in the morning in central London with the Defender, about to head out to what will be my biggest Defender project ever. This is probably the biggest moment that's ever happened on the Tim Foster YouTube channel, and it all is because and for this amazing car here that I absolutely love. But before we get out there, I need to go and get some fuel, so let's go and do that. Diesel it is. Okay, some of you guessed it online, I am here at Foley. Can you believe it? I'm here to start my biggest Defender project ever. I am honestly so excited, and I couldn't be working with a better company and a better team. I'm just here on the forecourt. I've had a walk around with Stuart, the owner, and there are so many stories for each of these cars. It is literally ridiculous. So I'm going to go around, we'll do a walk around the kind of courtyard, forecourt here, and not all these Defenders are for sale, right? Some of them are here for restorations, some of them have been on overland expeditions. Foley was founded in around 1966, so they're the oldest family-run Defender modificator in the world. They've obviously had their base here, but they also had bases in Africa as well to do overland expeditions, and you'll see some of those cars over here that have been down to South Africa and back multiple times. We're going to be driving this 6x6 beast here that you've seen before at some of my Defender meetups. We're of course going to be doing up my Defender as well, so stick around to the very end and I'm going to be telling you exactly what we're planning on doing and maybe some more. But for now, let's go and have a look around the forecourt. The sun has decided to grace us with its presence, which is also making filming hard, but we're going to go with it. So, starting off at the very front, we have the Foley 6x6 here, which is absolutely ridiculous. We've seen that in videos in the past. It has an LS3 6.2 litre V8. Of course, it's been converted to 6-wheel drive. Now, some of you might think, what's the point? This is crazy, but the point of this car is to show what is possible. Foley can do absolutely anything, but honestly, this thing is crazy. We're going to go for a little drive in it later, and I can't wait to hear what it sounds like. So in the corner here, we have a original V8 110. This is original. Now, there's a few little things that they're going to be doing to it, but this car will be for sale. And look at the interior. Absolutely immaculate in here. Really immaculate for the age of the car. Everything original and just so cool. White Defenders have been growing on me quite a lot, and I'm not sure, obviously it's the spec I'd go for my first one, but I think this looks absolutely brilliant. This one owned by a client that's been completed, so it's ready to go. Series Defender. This one's really amazing. The interior as well is stunning. Hope my focus is kind of showing that right. Now, this one here is what I talked about in the beginning. This is one of their overland Defenders. So what you used to be able to do was you used to be able to come here to Foley in London, pick up the keys for this, and you would drop the keys back off in South Africa. Can you believe it? So you could literally rent a Defender to drive from London to South Africa. What an adventure that must have been. It's got jerry cans underneath. It has the kind of canopy that's going to come out over here. Spare tires on the roof. Snorkel for when you're going through rivers. It's of course got the tent on the back. Loads of storage in here as well. Doing a trip with a car like this that you know is going to be absolutely perfect for it, and being able to do it one way, I think is so unique. Back here, like this one was for a cricket club, but it's now back in Foley ownership. This one's been ready for a client, just needs a clean up. It's got brand new laser lights and bits on the interior. This one, left-hand drive, really rare configuration. Look at this one here. This one's stunning. Look at those seats. What do you think of those seats? Should I get seats like this for mine? They're the kind of later Land Rover seats, aren't they? I'd like to sit in those, see what they feel like. The amazing thing is, with this whole, forecourt, you've got original V8 for sale. You've got a car that's been to South Africa and back multiple times successfully. You've got cars that are, you know, been done up basically brand new for sale. You've got cars like this that are ready to be done up. You got this car which has just been sold while I've been here. Absolutely lovely thing. You know, you've got this car that's in for an accident repair. You know, you've got this car that's a project car. So you've got all sorts of cars in this forecourt, and that's the thing. Foley can do whatever you want to do to your car. Do you need a new chassis? They can do it. Do you want your, you know, your soundproofing done on your car? They can do it. Do you want undersealing? They can do it. Do you want it repainted so it's, you know, got perfect paint on it? Do you want that? They can do it. So they can do everything that you need to do. I mean, look at this TD5. This TD5 is basically brand new. I mean, look at the quality. Look at the quality here, even on the, you know, the kind of windscreen lugs. This thing is basically brand new. Just needs a quick wash before the customer comes to collect it. So my Defender sat here in the middle. Not looking too bad. Needs a clean. Needs a clean. But it's not looking too bad. But just wait till you hear the ideas that Stuart and I have for this car. We've still been planning it out a little bit, and I'm going to come back to that later because there's some more cars inside which I want to talk about before we go into what we're going to be doing to this. Okay, so I've come inside from the cold and we're in the workshop. Honestly, it's so exciting. Now, this workshop is literally like the Land Rover owner's like dream. You know, you've got Land Rovers apart here, and we're going to look at them in more detail. You know, you've got Land Rovers up on benches. As I said, this one's got the chassis out. This Land Rover was in the was a press car in the Bosnian War. We're going to have a look at that in more detail. This one, the owner is wanting to convert it to an automatic box. In the back, we've got some stunning Defenders that have been resprayed, and also we've got a 6x6. So let's start here. Now, the mechanic that used to work on this ramp was at Foley for over 25 years, has recently handed over to an amazing apprentice. This chassis change for this 90 pickup, which I think is going to be changed maybe to a canvas top, I can't exactly remember. And the beautiful thing about this is that this car, you know, has been owned from new by the owner, and of course over time has come under some wear and tear. I mean, this car has, you know, been owned for years and years and years, and instead of buying a new one, they want to keep the car in the family, so they've decided to give it a whole new lease of life with a new chassis. And this is what, you know, Foley can do the best, is, you know, taking your pride and joy and giving it a new lease of life. I mean, this chassis is absolutely immaculate. These are obviously the brackets where the car where the chassis attaches to the body of the car. You know, the whole engine's been stripped out, and Foley can do this so quickly because they've been doing it, you know, for over 40-50 years. It's absolutely incredible, and it's just the details that matter. So these plates that attach onto the car, usually they attach underneath, and that's the bit that rusts. And instead of kind of leaving that, you can see here it has brand new parts. So it's just, again, it's just future proofed. The whole car's been kind of sealed under here, and then it will be wax sealed. There's a few bits that need to be repainted, but when this car goes back on this chassis, it's then going to last another, you know, 40 odd years. So it's giving that car, the car that's, you know, been part of that family, a whole new lease of life, which I just think is beautiful. And that's one of the things that I'd like to do with my Defender. I'd like to keep it for many, many years, and hopefully pass it on to my children. Let's move on to this car, shall we? This car is so interesting, and I'm going to try and find some photos, or Stuart to get some photos that I can snip it in over what we're talking about. This is a Defender 110 left-hand drive that was used by the press in the Bosnian War. Can you believe it? Now, this car has armor-plated hinges. It has, I mean, this door is so heavy. This has bulletproof glass. So this Defender literally has bulletproof glass here on the car. It then has this rim around here, so any bullets, you know, couldn't, you know, go maybe around the hinges or whatever. So it has that there. I mean, this whole thing is like literally like a tank. It's absolutely crazy. I think the only thing that can go through this is, you know, possibly armor piercing rounds. But the glass is, I think, what would that be? 2-3 inches thick? I mean, absolutely crazy. It's got a V8 as well. Imagine being a journalist in the war, the Bosnian War, and going around in this. Foley provided a number of vehicles to a number of different... Oh my God, it's so heavy. You can see in here, like, all the armor plating behind, you know, behind the door as well. This is all armor plating. you know, and the news crews used these cars so they could document everything that was going on in as safest way possible. But I mean, goodness me, I wouldn't like to be driving anywhere near a war zone. So I mean, amazing. This car's coming in for a complete restrip interior and rebuild of the interior. You know, change the hinges. You want to build a car for you know, journalists in a war. Here you are. Or like this car here is owned by an older gentleman. He's had the car for many years, absolutely loves it, but as he's got older, you know, he wanted to put an automatic box in it. So, you know, Foley have taken this, and this car within a matter of days has had an automatic gearbox fitted to it. So, you know, that's gone straight in there, so the owner can continue driving it with ease for, you know, more years. And I think that's the thing, there's so much love for these cars, there's so much kind of history and care for these cars, and Foley kind of take that and they really do a good job of preserving that car, you know, for as long and for any needs that, you know, customers have necessary. Look at this, absolutely immaculate car, absolutely immaculate. Can you see this perfectly? I mean, the green, I was saying to Stuart earlier, if I was to have another Defender or a new Defender, I think it would be in this green. I wouldn't have a soft top because I drive it in London, in the UK, where it's always raining. But I love this green colour with these kind of brushed silver accents. You know, it's not, I don't like chrome or anything like that, but this is just it's so classy. It's kind of got that hue colour. Let's go and have a look at it from the front. I mean, look at that. Isn't that just the coolest thing you've seen? I absolutely love it. Yeah, I'm getting tempted to do lots of things now. But look at the engine bay. Look at that. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I'm just looking at it. I'm taking it in as you're taking it in as well. All right, we'll come through the back door. I cannot even stand back. I mean, there's a garage door here. I can't stand back far enough. Look at the size of this six-wheel drive. Absolutely incredible. I mean, I always like the Mercedes 6x6 because, again, it's not practical, it's not classy, it's just what's possible. This is very similar. Absolutely insane shocks and engineering. And Foley always used the correct chassis. So the original chassis had a seam down the middle. Foley always used the correct chassis, even on their 6x6s. Perfect. And look at this, another green colour. It's got a little bit more work to do on the front fenders, but have a look at that. Look at that. Can you see that? The paintwork is like, I mean, it's like new. I mean, I don't even know how to. The camera is like, what am I focusing on? Please pick me a point to focus on. I can't focus on this shiny paint. It's too clear. The level of craftsmanship and work that's done on this paintwork is unbelievable. Mine has all these kind of like crinkles and bumps on it. And that's what happens when you buy the car new. But, you know, when they do the work, they do it, you know, to perfection. Can you believe, like, even my limited knowledge of the stories and everything that's been going on? I mean, this is the thing that fascinates me about Land Rovers. I'm not a huge Land Rover nerd, shall we say, but I love the stories. I love what car represents, and it represents something different to so many different people. In there, you know, there was a bulletproof car. There was a car that used to be an ambulance. Over here, there's cars that have been down to Africa. There's mine that drives around Chelsea. You know, I mean, they're all here, and there's one for everyone. And, you know, I just don't feel like many other cars build that sort of connection with their owner. You know, maybe a vintage Porsche or whatever, but then you're talking, you know, bonkers money. But then again, you can spend bonkers money on a 6x6 like this. Okay, we are here with Stuart, the owner and founder. Well, not founder, your dad found it.
My dad found it. So yeah, I'm second generation.
What was that, 1966?
66.
Wow.
He started it.
Incredible, yeah. Incredible. We were talking earlier about all the exports that used to happen to, you know, to America and things like that. And there's actually a chassis all the way in the back that's going to America as well. Really, really interesting. And there's stories about all these cars that I've alluded to briefly that we're going to talk about in more detail in the future. But for now, we're going to be talking about my car and what we're going to be doing, and we're going to be pointing some of the things out that Foley are going to be doing to my amazing car, and we're going to be showing off at the next Defender meetup. Okay, so the first bit on my car that needs doing, and I've wanted to do this basically since I got it, is the undersealing. What's involved in that process, and how are you thinking about it? Because I know you do a good job.
Yeah, the process is steam cleaning the chassis first on the ramp, and just getting all the old crap off, and then rust proofing with a rust converter if there is any rust under there, and then we will black it with a dinner troll or something that we think is fit for this car, and then we will wax oil it and make it black, and sexy underneath, which is what it's got to be.
Perfect. Yeah, you don't see the underneath of it much, but with Land Rovers you really need to take care of it. I'm just going to poke my camera in here. I mean, you can see here. I mean, the thing's, you know, it's not bad. That's just the guard for the mud guard, the front mud guard, but it's not too bad under here. But you do need to look after them, don't you? You
certainly do. That's the main bit. The bit underneath the chassis is the most important bit.
The next thing that we're going to do, we've been discussing, is this front panel here. So it used to have a snorkel on it. I didn't like the look of the snorkel. I like the clean look, so I took it off. But then it's left these bolts and these bolts. So how would you? What we're going to do? What
we're going to do with this is we will take this out. These bolts. These will get filled. This is the wrong colour, it's been painted before, so this has got to be painted again. And then we will paint this. These will get painted, and these will get changed and painted. These will get filled, and that windscreen will come out, and that windscreen will get painted, and all that will get blended into the same colour as the rest of the car. At the moment, you can't see it probably on the camera, but it is a different shade of grey.
Yeah, I'm going to try and pick it up on the B-roll, but I didn't even notice this for a long time. But I'm glad that we have your specialised eyes to look at this, because I didn't even notice. So I'm glad that it's getting done, and there's a few other little scuffs on it, so it's going to fix all of it, which is really, really nice.
Front bit that is a little bit scruffy. It's always, the windscreen frame is always a weak spot when it comes to paint.
So again, just talking about at the back, this is where they all go on the rear cross member. You see it's kind of coming apart a little bit. So I wanted to say, like, you know, if yours is looking like that, is it all right? Does it need doing? What's your verdict?
Look, the weak spot is always the rear cross members of the chassis, and that metal that is separating there, we have to cut some of it out, we have to replace it, and it's just at the point that you can save this, and to save a rear cross member, and then we go for the rust treatment and the Dynatrol and the wax oil, and it's just then preserving it to its former glory.
Okay, we're at the front of the car. There's a few little bits we're going to do here, including the front grille and the light. So let's go a bit closer and we'll talk about what we're going to do there.
Yeah, so first of all, we've got this here, and then we've got these holes. Because it's got an aftermarket uprated grille, you've got these holes left, so we're going to fill these, we're going to repair this so it's all nice and clean. And also, while this is off, inside here we will paint, rust treat and paint that air conditioning condenser so it's nice and black and sharp. And we're going to get rid of these and put a standard bumper back on, because we've got enough lights going on here. So we'll get rid of this and just put it back to standard. Yeah, I recently changed the lights. They've been transformative. From the I bought some halos for like 150 quid. They were rubbish. They were so bad. And then now I put on these Y-Pack ones, and they are absolutely fantastic. No, so they look good. Happy with those. And like you said, these ones, honestly, they've never worked. So no, I've never had them. We tend to fit some, and then the lights go, because it seems like the quality of the light, and because it's not protected at the back, the weather, and then it goes yellow, and that's what you've got.
I didn't even notice these things in here, but this is why, again, we have your eye.
Yeah, it's the eye. I do a lot of it, because that just corrodes. You've got all the weather hitting it, and it just corrodes and corrodes and corrodes. So we just rust proof, believe it or not, the corrosion in there, and then we black it behind the black grille, and it just gives it another sharp edge.
I'm honestly like so excited about all of this. Like, I was saying to the viewers before, I really care about this car, and I love how much, you know, Foley care about their cars, and we talked about some of the stories from the cars inside, and it's just brilliant. And this attention to detail is like exactly what I'm looking for in someone that's going to be, you know, working on my car.
And it's all about the small bits. The big bit everyone can see, but it's when you come up, it's just the little bits that I see, that I look at, and I have been looking at for 30 years of me doing
yeah, exactly. Right, let's move on round to the side. Exciting things are happening on the interior. Now, the thing is, with the things that are happening on the interior, I won't be able to see them when they're done, but I'll be able to feel them here or not hear them. So side steps.
Side steps are easy, because they're unbolt, bolt on, and you get new side steps.
Yeah, and they look
an easy
crap.
An easy thing to do, and they don't last.
But it's so visually pleasing as well, because I mean, look, have a look at this, viewers. I mean, look, it's just, the whole thing's just falling apart, basically. So Yeah, small thing, but make a
that will
big difference visually.
That is visually a game changer of visuals.
And then inside, soundproofing.
For the inside, soundproofing, all the floors, so in here, all get soundproof. This comes out, we soundproof through the tunnel and all through the footwells, seats out, cubby box out, and probably the noisiest bit is that gearbox, because all that noise is travelling up through the tunnel. The road noise, the prop noise, the gearbox noise, all coming up. So it's soundproofing all that cockpit, door trims off, and soundproofing those, and it puts a bit of weight to the door as well, so it will in theory not sound like that. It will sound a bit more thuddy, which just gives it a bit of a quality feel.
Yeah, that's what we want. And that's going to be huge.
Same in the back. Carpet out, wheel arches, and just dynamat, and that little strip behind the seat, which is bare.
Yeah.
That will get...
yeah, because as we were just talking about, that's just road under there. It's literally just metal to road. Is it possible to... How hard is it to have the door stay open?
That is a gas ram. So you need a gas ram.
The more we're going around, the more I'm like, oh, I'd like this. Yeah.
And that holds the door open.
All right, while we're at the back, we were just talking about the rear crossmember as well. Obviously, that's kind of included in the undersealing, etc. But like, let's have a little. I mean, if we get down to it, I mean, there's these bolts have gone, and
we've got to change these to stainless or galvanised, and have them powder coated. These bolts get changed to stainless steel. This reflector's in the wrong place, it should be here, and then we've got to address this rust and the rust in there. And once we've done all that and prepped it, then it all gets blacked and put back to original, because this is getting the weather, especially this time of the year when you've got some salt on the roads. Yeah, I had it in Sweden for a year, and they really salt their roads. And I think that kind of accelerated it, because when I got it, it didn't look like this. It was all fine. It's all these holes, and all the salt sits there, and it just looks scruffy. So,
yeah, exactly. It's going to be a new car.
And then we're going to put a stainless strip here. Because this is, although it's galvanised, it still rusts. So we'll put a stainless one here, brushed stainless with stainless screws. Do the door rubber. And also, we were just looking at as well about all the bolts. So some of them are stainless bolts, but like these ones in here, again, small thing, but it just makes the difference, doesn't it, between a well looked after car. These ones as well. This bit needs changing because this always weathers.
It's funny, isn't it? The bits that weather. It's just like that's just on its own. Everything else is kind of fine. It's just there.
It just goes powdery, and it just needs changing, and it just brings it back to life.
Yeah.
But these rusty bolts, we're changing those every week on cars.
Yeah.
They come in, we do all this just to keep them in the condition they need to stay in, because they're people's pride and joy. Stuart and I, we've talked about what we're going to be doing to my car. There might be a few surprises, maybe, we'll see. And my car will be on show at the next Defender meetup, which I'm also going to announce quite soon actually, which I'm very excited for, and we're going to have another very special car there as well. So I'm very, very excited for all of you to have a look over the car, have some details to contact Foley in the description, of course, if you want to get your car done. But I'm so excited, and I'm so excited to have a company look after my car as I would wish for it to be looked after. I don't want to partner with anyone else on this, so I'm really, really happy, and I can't wait for all you to see my car in person at the next Defender meet. And of course, I'm going to be doing a big reveal on this YouTube channel and on my Instagram, so follow for future videos. Right, see you in the next video. Peace.